I have plenty of haters. There are, for sure, some people who just do not care for me at all. Uh, do not agree with what I have to say. Do not see eye to eye. I get it. This used to bother me. It used to really bug me when somebody didn't like me or somebody didn't care for me, and I did a lot to avoid that ever happening. But I have figured out not only how to get past that, to just not be, to be basically invincible to the haters, but also kind of why it's a good thing to have them around. So we'll get into that. I am Owen. Thank you for joining today. I really appreciate it. I hope that you will please subscribe and join the Abundance Hackers group. It is awesome. It's this growing group. It is awesome. I hope that you will join it. I'm going to put a link here in the chat for you right now. Go ahead and click that. It is free. We would love to have you. So, I've sort of been on like an outsider. This may just be a story I've told myself, right? But I've sort of know what it's like to be an outsider in my life. Our family moved to the United States from Canada when me and my sister were very young. I was just 6 years old. We were in the 80s, and that was quite an experience. Right? Like, it doesn't seem like Canada is that different of a country from the United States, but there are some very, very big differences, especially for a kid. There's definitely different ways of saying things, and learning how to speak differently is one thing. And just very subtle differences in the culture and in just how we all act and what our life was like from there. So it was always sort of like understanding. I think it was in first grade when we moved, so it was sort of like looking around like, oh, okay, these kids are from here, but I'm not from here. So I get that feeling, right? Sometimes you get that feeling, and certainly growing up, as I'm sure many of you have, been subject to bullying, dealt with some bullying growing up, having people, who either physically or emotionally just abusive, just people who get up, they try to feel better about themselves by making you feel worse. I definitely had a lot of that, right? And it sucks, right? It sucks to get bullied. And certainly can understand why you wouldn't want to have that happen any longer as well. And then even in some communities, right? Like, so, I'm as a gay man, and sometimes because I don't watch RuPaul's Drag Race or certain other things, many times people have been like, oh, we're going to take your gay card away from you, right? It's like, yeah, well, I'm not going to do what I need. I'm not going to do, not be myself to try to fit in. So I get it, right? Like, I get what it feels like sometimes when it's your community or, your family or anybody who basically is sort of in your way. Someone who is trying to make you be somebody who you're not. And speaking out or trying to get in your way while you are being who you are. So I get it, right? This used to bug me a lot. It used to bother me a lot when somebody was a hater of mine. If I even got the slightest hint that somebody didn't like me or that I had bothered somebody or what have you, like, I would do anything I could to try to make it right, to just completely do anything, like put even past my own personal boundaries, right? Just to make sure that somebody else would like me and get back on board with me. And because I was so sensitive to all of this, I took a lot of things really, really personally. Like, even things that would have nothing to do with me, sometimes I would take them really personally. But then also as this whole idea of, oh, now I've got to do something to turn this around so that, so that this person will like me again. It's like, so that we won't have this distance between us. And sometimes what this also meant was staying quiet, was just not speaking up, not speaking my own personal truth. Just either towing the line or not saying anything at all. And so many opportunities that I probably had to speak or to stand up for myself or do anything, I just didn't do it, right? And it took me a while to really get my head around the fact that what was really going on here, like what is all this people pleasing coming around, right? It's this like fear of abandonment. Ultimately, it's a fear of abandonment because why? Why would I be trying to please people around me? Why would I be hurt by haters and like take it personally and try to change their opinion? Because I guess I'm ultimately afraid that people would go away, right? That people would leave. So eventually I had to come around to stop worrying so much about being alone. And what does being alone really mean? It means spending time with yourself. And I realized at some point, like I wasn't really super wild about myself, right? I wasn't the kind of person I wanted to hang out with, right? So I start to hang on to other people, hang on to other things in my life, even though they, in a way that caused me pain. And in understanding that, okay, not everyone's going to like me, right? There's going to be some haters, right? That people will go trusting that there are going to be those folks like you right here who are on board, right? Who are around, we are on the same wavelength. And that kind of trust, right, is a move from scarcity into abundance. Like scarcity is the idea that everything's going to run out. So in this case, a scarcity mindset is like everyone is going to leave me. Everyone's going to leave me. I'm going to be left completely and totally alone. There will be nobody left for me. That's a scarcity mindset, and it doesn't work that way, right? The abundance mindset is like there's always going to be people. Like there's always going to be folks who I understand and understand me, right? Teacher had once said to me that anyone who believes that they're alone has a very twisted of what being alone means. Which I've always sort of thought about, that it's pretty difficult to actually be entirely alone if we ever are, depending on where your mind's at. So, here's the fun thing about haters, though, as I've come to learn, especially in a lot of reading that I've done, and on especially how to build online communities and whatnot. But if you don't have any haters, it's kind of like you're kind of doing something wrong. I like to think of it that way. Is that if you don't have any haters and you're not doing anything that is worth either someone hating on, or on the flip side just being really really in favor of, like someone can really connect with it. Like think about the things that you really like in your life. I guess I will bring this one up again, the Apple versus non-Apple crowd, right? There is so much passion behind this. Like you love it or you hate it, right? But that's one of the things that makes it so special, one of the things that makes it so awesome, and one of the things that so many people enjoy Apple products so much. So it's not so bad if you have your haters. It's great. You guys should kind of need them. If you don't have any haters, you are doing something wrong. So who are your haters? Check them out. Send them a thank you note. And thank you to my haters, right? So anyway, that's just a thought for today. I know that in a time when many of us are pivoting, maybe you're taking a different direction with your business, and maybe you are starting to speak out online, or you are starting to explore your passion a little bit. If there are folks telling you it's like, oh no, you can't do this, or you'll never get this done, or what have you, it's like, well, you know what, good. You kind of need to run anyway, and just know that if you stand by yourself, then there's really nothing that they can do at all. And if you don't worry about people leaving, then it'll never bother you anymore at all. So stay safe. I hope that you send a thank you note to your haters. I hope you have a great weekend. I will talk to you tomorrow.